Hello everyone, welcome back to the software engineering sessions. Uh, as we know that we have started our unit third. In unit third, we have completed our first point, that is a principle that guide process. Okay. Today I'm going to take a new point, that is a principle that guide practice. Okay. So let's get started. Before that, which point we have already covered, just take a look in a brief way. The principle that guide process, this is the process which guide us how the project should be worked, or how to which principle should we follow while developing a project. The first principle is be agile, as we discussed. Be agile, that means you are ready to develop a project in any kind of environment, as well as you are ready to take new challenges, accept requirements, and as per the requirement you have to be change the new software. The software should be flexible. Second point we have already, second point is the focus on quality at every steps. Don't compromise your focus, sorry, don't compromise with your qualities while developing a software. Be ready to adapt. Every requirement is should be that should be always accommodate it into the your project development. uh, every point should be uh, easily get into the project, or requirement should be you get into the project. That is nothing but adaptation. Build an effective team. Just it is not just a team, that should be an effective team. That means respect each other, trust each other, work with each other. Okay. Next principle was establish mechanism for communication and coordination. The main pillar of the development, that is communication with the customer and coordinate with your colleagues or developers. Manage changes. Always the requirements are welcoming. Flexibility should be there, so that if you are easily change, you can easily change the requirements of a project. Access risk. Each and every step you have to be uh, you have to be very careful while doing software. Create work products that provides value for others. uh, Always keep in mind the project is working with project with other peoples, and other peoples are very much familiar or very much easily understand your project, or easily adapt of the your project, or get familiar with your project, so that they are ready to use at any point. That should be valuable for others. Okay. These principles which we have already discussed in last session, and now I'm going to take a new principles that guides practice. Okay. That is our second point in the third unit. Let's get started. Software engineering practice has a single overridden goal: to deliver on time, high quality operational software that contains functions and features that meets the needs of all stakeholders. Okay, all stakeholders is nothing but a customers or end user. Their requirements are the most primary or important goals which we have to be follow. According to that requirements, we have to deliver it on time. We have to plan. We have to develop and deliver it on time. High quality, don't compromise with your quality. Operational software, that means each functions is working perfectly. That should be work in perfect way, that contains the functions and features that meets the needs of all stakeholders. Every stakeholder should have with comfortable with your software, and they are ready. They should be happy while working with your software. All functions or all features should included into the project. To achieve this goal, you should adapt a set of core principles that guide your technical work. Okay, there are some principles through which you can easily get all these things, all these points, uh, or you can achieve all these points easily. Following set of core principles are fundamentals to practice of software engineering. Okay, the first one is divide and conquer. Divide and conquer is nothing but you have to, while developing a software, you have to work with a small thing first. You have to divide the whole problem into multiple parts, or classify all the part or all the project into a small segments, so that the complex problem get into the simple problem, and simple problem can be solved easily. After the solving all the project, you have to club all these things so that your project will be the easily usable. Okay, problems are easier to solve when they are subdivided into a separate concern. Okay, problems are easier to solve if the problem is divided into multiple sections or multiple sections. They are easy to solve. It distinct individually solvable and variable. The last problem is easier to solve if it is subdivided into collections of elements. That means you have to divide your problems into a multiple section, and that section should be a work. On that section you can easily work, and after completing that work you can club all the sections to get into the system. Okay, ideally each concern deliver a distinct functionality that can be developed and in some cases validated independently for of other concern. सिंपल सा मीनिंग सांगितलं आहे. यू हॅव टू डिवाइड अँड कॉन्कर, म्हणजे की मोठा प्रॉब्लेम असेल तर तुम्हाला तो डिवाइड करावा लागेल इंटू मल्टिपल सेक्शन्स. म्हणजे छोटे छोटे प्रॉब्लेम्स जेव्हा तुमची म्हणजे मोठा आला छोट्या मॉडेल्स मध्ये कन्वर्ट करा, आणि मग ते जे छोटे छोटे प्रॉब्लेम्स असतात दे कॅन बी इझिली सॉल्व्ड. ओके, नेक्स्ट वन इज अंडरस्टँड द यूज ऑफ abstraction. सिंपल सा मिनिंग आहे ऍब्स्ट्रॅक्शन म्हणजे काय, इमॅजिनरी और काल्पनिक ज्या काय गोष्टी तुम्हाला कस्टमर सांगतो, स्टेक होल्डर सांगतो, यू हॅव टू बी इमॅजिन ऑल दिस थिंग्स. तुम्हाला सगळ्यात पहिले ते इमॅजिन करायचं आहे. हाऊ द वर्क इज, हाऊ द सॉफ्टवेअर विल वर्क और वर्क फ्लो, व्हॉट विल बी द वे or different way, or on which points the risk might be greater, that point should be noted. सगळ्या गोष्टी ज्या आहेत सगळ्या काय abstract आहेत. You have to imagine all these things, and according to that you have to follow or you have to plan everything. In analysis and design work, a software team normally begins with the models that represent high levels of abstractions. Abstractions means की एक काल्पनिक असतं. प्रोजेक्ट बनवायचा असेल तर तुम्हाला पहिले विचार करावा लागतो. विचार करून तो एका स्प्रेडशीट असेल किंवा वॉटर सॉरी DFDs असतील, या डायग्राम्स असतील, यू हॅव टू do all the things on papers, worksheets, all these abstract things, and slowly refines those models into the lower levels of abstractions. Okay, हळूहळू मग त्याला काय करा, कन्वर्ट करा into a reality. ठीक आहे, I hope you are understood. थर्ड प्रिन्सिपल आहे strive for the consistency. Consistency, strive म्हणजे प्रयत्न करा. You have to be always work in a consistency. Consistency म्हणजे सातत्य. Okay, whether it is creating a requirements model, developing a software design, generating source codes, or creating test cases, the principles of consistency suggest that a similar context much software easier to use. हळूहळू का होईना, you have to follow all the principles, and according to the principle you have to work on a consistency. Okay, next principle is focus on the transfer of information. The main goal project बनवण्याच्या पाठीमागे मेन उद्देश हाच आहे की the information should transfer easily from one computer to another or a server or anywhere. The transformation of information, data, videos, audios, any kind of files, that should be easily or in a secure manner. Okay, that is principle 4. Software is about information transfer from database to end user, from a legacy system to the web app, from end user into the graphical user interface, from an operating system to an application, from one software component to another. A least amount endless. The every case information flow across on interface, and as consequences there are opportunity for errors or omissions or ambiguities. The implications of this principle is that you must pay specific attention to the analysis, design, constructions, and testing of interfaces. कोणताही गोंधळ न होता, without any error, without any fail, and ज्या काही गोष्टी असतील सगळ्यात ग्राफिकल डिझाईन असेल, डेटा फ्रॉम तुम्हाला डेटाबेस मधून एंड युजरला पाठवायचं असेल, और लिगसी सिस्टीमचा मिनिंग आहे की ऑलरेडी जे बनवलेलं प्रोडक्ट आहे त्याला म्हणायचं लिगसी सिस्टीम. त्याच्यावरून तुम्हाला वेब ऍप्लिकेशन्स तुम्ही बनवत असाल तर त्याच्यावर डेटा ट्रान्सफर करणं दॅट शुड बी इझी. इझिली कॅन दॅट शुड बी इझी फॉर ट्रान्सफरिंग. त्याच्यानंतर all the flows, interfaces, or without any error, without omission of data, or without ambiguity. Ambiguity म्हणजे गोंधळ, असं काही न होता तो व्यवस्थित डेटा काय झाला पाहिजे, that should be transferred from one end to another end. Okay, so be focused on that. Next principle is build software that exhibits effective modularity. ठीक आहे, exhibits effective modularity याचा meaning होतो की any complex systems can be divided into modules. मोठा प्रोजेक्ट असेल, खूप मोठा प्रोजेक्ट असेल तर you have to divide that project in a small modules. Okay, you have to subdivide it, divide it into modules, components, but good software engineering practice demands more. Modularity must be effective. Modularity म्हणजे काय, जे काय तुम्ही डिवाइड करता that should be effectively divided. That is, each module should focus exclusively on well-constrained aspects of the system. तुम्ही कोणताही डिपार्टमेंट, सपोज हॉस्पिटल मॅनेजमेंट असेल, त्याच्यामध्ये लॉट्स ऑफ डिपार्टमेंट्स आर देयर, आयपीडी, ओपीडी, डॉक्टर्स, बिलिंग सेक्शन्स, इन्व्हेंटरी और मेडिकल. तर each and every point should be a properly well organized, modularized. Okay, that should be a well classified so that it can be it will be useful for to create a software. It should be a cohesive in its functions and or constructed in the contents it represents. What is meant by cohesive? Cohesive चा meaning असा असतो की it should not be dependent on others. Low cohesive and high coupling, that should not be done. म्हणजे काय की का असतं की एखादा फंक्शन किंवा एखादा मॉड्यूल हा दुसऱ्यावर जर डिपेंड असेल आणि जर सपोज पहिला जर कधी मॉडेल खराब झाला तर दुसरा पण मॉडेल का होऊन जाईल, मग दॅट विल नॉट डू वर्क. सो एव्हरी पॉइंट शुड बी और एव्हरी मॉड्यूल शुड बी इंडिपेंडेंट. प्रत्येक गोष्टी काय पाहिजे, इंडिपेंडेंट पाहिजे. दॅट इज द कोहेसिव्ह इन द फंक्शन. ओके, that should not be a dependent to each other, highly dependent to each other. That is a coupling. Low coupling, high cohesion, that is the point. Low coupling means that every point should not be coupled with each other. High cohesion means every module should be independent from each other. Okay, that is the motto. Low coupling, high cohesion. Additional modules should be interconnected in a related simple manner. Each module should exhibit low coupling. Okay, as we discussed just now, to other modules, to data source and other environmental aspects. The next part is look for patterns. While developing a software, some points you will notice that the each and every point is again and again come similar. Most of the points are similar. Okay, so you have to look for a pattern. If there are some pattern, you have to work on that so that they can be easily implemented others. Okay, काय असतं, प्रोजेक्ट डेव्हलप करताना खूप साऱ्या गोष्टी असे डबल होत असतात, मल्टिपल टाइम्स तुम्हाला ते करावे लागतात. सो डोंट डू दॅट अगेन अँड अगेन, जस्ट डू इट वन्स अँड इम्प्लिमेंट एव्हरीवेअर. ओके, दॅट इज द गोल. म्हणजे फॉर एक्झाम्पल अँड्रॉइड प्रोजेक्ट डेव्हलपमेंट आहे, तुम्ही एखादा ऍप्लिकेशन डेव्हलप करता आहात. इफ यू आर वर्किंग ऑन अ प्रोजेक्ट फॉर डेव्हलपिंग an Android applications, there are some architectures you should follow. All these architectures which makes your project development most easy, such as MVC, MVVM, MVP. These are the architectures. These architectures are developed for avoiding the duplications or maintain the code, or easily the new features can be added to these features easy way. So we have to look for a pattern. A goal of pattern within the software community is to create a body of literature to help software developers resolve recurring problems encountered throughout all software development. Simple way, परत परत जे problems येत आहेत, you have to fix all these problems at once. Pattern has helped create a shared language for communicating insight and the experience about these problems and their solutions. Okay, so you have to just keep your mind always being looking some patterns. Okay, next principle is when possible represents the problems and its solutions for numbers of different perspectives. Cast there in most of the time there are similar ways or similar problems arises. You have number of solutions for that. So in different perspectives, you have to work on different perspectives also. When the problem arises, you have to take a solution, but there are different ways to solve this problem. So all the ways or all the problems might arises while developing software or working with software. You know all the problems, and according to the problems, you know all the different ways of solutions also. Okay, when a problems and its solutions are examined from a number of different perspectives, it is more likely that a greater insight will be achieved and that error and omissions will be uncovered. For example, requirements models can be represented using a data-oriented viewpoints, a function-oriented viewpoints, or a behavioral viewpoints. Each provides a different view of the problems and its requirements. बऱ्याचशा गोष्टी येणार आहेत, बऱ्याचशा प्रॉब्लेम्स जेव्हा क्रिएट होतील, प्रत्येक प्रॉब्लेमसाठी एकच सोल्युशन न ठेवता you have to take a multiple solutions on that, so that if the problems is arises while working on that project, you have a different solutions so that you can easily fix with another multiple ways. Okay, next one is remember that someone will maintain the software. That means while developing a software is most important that each code or design should be maintainable, because there are lots of requirements which are coming from the in future. You have to add all these features in a flexible way. So principle that someone will maintain the software, that means the software which you are working or which you are developing, that should be a maintainable over a long term. Software will be a corrected as defects are uncovered, adapted as its environment change, and enhance the stakeholders request. For a long term, software will be corrected as defects are uncovered, adapted, and as its environment changes, and enhance the stakeholder request more capabilities. These maintenance activities can be facilitated if solid software engineering practice is applied throughout the software process. That the simple meaning of this point is the software is never ever ending process, and you have to be always add new things or new requirements according to the customer, so that the software should be maintainable so that it can be adapt all the new requirements into it. Okay, I hope you have understood all these points. If any kind of problems or any question is arises in your mind, please let me know through the comments so that I will get back to that work, get back to their problems. Okay, till then, have a nice day.